Good morning. The Senate Appropriations Subcommittee on Labor, Health, and Human Services, Education, and Related Agencies will please come to order. Today, we are having a hearing on the Biden administration's fiscal year 2023 budget request for the Department of Labor. Senator Blunt and I will each have an opening statement, then I will introduce our witness, and after his testimony, senators will each have 5 minutes for a round of questions. We are unable to have this hearing fully open to the public yet or for media for in-person attendance, but live video is available on our committee website. If you are in need of accommodations, including closed captioning, please reach out to the committee or the Office of Congressional Accessibility Services. Well, this is the last hearings we have scheduled for this subcommittee to discuss the President's budget for fiscal year 2023. And of course, the last hearing with Senator Blunt on the other side of the dais. And after all of the issues that we have worked through together, I can't think of a more fitting tribute to that partnership than a bill that continues that legacy of making meaningful bipartisan investments to help families in my home state of Washington, in Missouri, and across the country. So I just want to say that my hope is after today, we'll be able to come together quickly in a bipartisan way, as we have so many times in the past, to turn to the hard work of writing our FY23 appropriations bills and getting in a good position to pass everything before the end of the year. Families are counting on us to get that done. I hope we can all agree it's critical to continue strengthening our economy, building off the progress we made thanks to the American Rescue Plan and last year's appropriations bills. Under President Biden, we have added another around 8.7 million jobs. That's an all-time high, and unemployment is near all-time lows at 3.6%. Meanwhile, the pension relief we passed has already given a lifeline to struggling businesses and saved the pensions of tens of thousands of workers and retirees who are at risk of having their financial situation turned upside down. Now, that progress is good, but we still have a lot of work ahead to build a stronger, fairer economy that truly works for workers, not just those at the very top and giant corporations. And right now, inflation is a serious challenge that we need to get our arms around. So we need to bring down everyday costs for the basics like groceries and gas and more that so many families are struggling with today. That's why Democrats are working to lower the cost of prescription drugs and health coverage, and why I believe we need to lower the child care costs for families and fix our broken child care system that is on the verge of collapse. We've got to get it done through reconciliation before it's too late, because it's plain as day, the child care crisis is holding our economy back. It is keeping so many parents, especially moms, out of the workforce and making it so much harder for businesses to find the workers that they need. I have put forward a plan that will lower child care costs for families across the country by thousands of dollars a year, reach more than 1 million new children and their families, raise wages for child care workers and stabilize the sector, keeping providers' doors open and making more options available to families, and ultimately to strengthen our entire economy. I'm going to keep pushing with everything I have to get that done. Now, Secretary Walsh, I'm glad you were able to hear directly from workers in my home state of Washington about the challenges that they're facing when you visited a few months ago. And I'm especially glad to see that President Biden's budget takes to heart so much of what the people in my state had to share with you. We have important work ahead to protect workers' rights, to raise wages, to make sure we have decent, safe, fair working conditions, and deliver high-quality workforce development opportunities. And the increased funding for the Labor Department in this budget will help us get it done with many much-needed investments. First, it would provide resources to help fix and strengthen our unemployment insurance systems, which so many people rely on when they hit hard times and are looking for their next job, and which this pandemic has shown is broken in far too many ways. This should be a reliable lifeline for people so they can get back on their feet. But back in my state and in several others, our unemployment programs have been undermined by fraud, outdated technology, and massive data hacks. We have to do better for families, and that starts with providing the resources we need to actually update IT programs and fix the system. This budget will also help people who are working to find good, high-paying jobs by increasing support for registered apprenticeships and other high-quality workforce development programs so they can provide quality opportunities in even more industries and occupations, and reach more women, people of color, formerly incarcerated individuals, people with disabilities, and others who are too often left out. Because you shouldn't have to have a college degree to make a decent living in this country. Of course, the department must do more than provide workers new opportunities. We need to be bold in protecting their rights as well. That's why it's so important this budget invests in the worker protection agencies charged with ensuring employers respect workers' rights and follow federal laws. Better enforcing these laws will help make sure workers are paid the wages they've earned, not shortchanged on overtime or denied minimum wage, get the family and medical leave they are eligible for, and go to work in a safe and healthy workplace. For too long, the number of investigators in the wage and hour division has been declining. We actually just hit a 50-year low. Too often, the division simply cannot investigate wage theft at huge, very well-resourced corporations. So I think we need to level the playing field for workers to make sure they are getting a fair shake. And these resources will allow us to crack down on employers who don't pay employees the overtime pay they are owed, pay workers less than prevailing wages required under law, and otherwise cheat employees out of the pay they earned. These investments won't just provide accountability to businesses, they will put money directly back in workers' pockets where it belongs. Meanwhile, increased resources for the International Labor Affairs Bureau will protect workers here at home from unfair competition when foreign companies don't play by the rules, ensuring our trading partners follow through on their commitment to workers' rights and keep our nation competitive on the world stage. And increased investments in the Office of Federal Contract Compliance will help ensure employers working for the government follow the law, including protecting against workplace discrimination and harassment. And when it comes to enforcing labor laws, this pandemic has put a harsh spotlight on how critical workplace health and safety laws are. We need the Occupational Safety and Health Administration to do more to live up to its responsibility here. In 2020, our country lost an average of 15 people to workplace injuries every day. Every day, 15 loved ones never made it home, and workplace deaths like these are disproportionately workers of color. That is heartbreaking. We have to do better, which is why it's critical this budget bolsters support for OSHA's mission to keep workers safe on the job and protected from retaliation for calling out safety and health issues in the workplace. It's also why I'm continuing to push OSHA to move quickly to finally issue a permanent COVID-19 standard for healthcare workers and work on a permanent infectious disease standard as well. Healthcare workers have been on the front line of this pandemic. They have worked tirelessly to save the lives of countless patients, but they have faced grave danger during this pandemic just trying to do their jobs. COVID-19 has killed over 5,000 nurses and healthcare professionals. We owe it to each and every one of our healthcare heroes to keep them safe. So, Mr. Secretary, I expect to see the permanent COVID safety standard from the department soon. We should have had one already. Workers cannot keep waiting. It's clear to me, and I think it's clear to everyone listening, that we have more work to do to support our workers and their families. So I'm going to keep pushing to make sure families have a little less stress on their shoulders and a little more money in their pockets. That means bringing down costs across the board on things like groceries and gas and healthcare and childcare and everyday essentials. It means ensuring workers get paid a fair living wage and are not cheated out of it, and go to work confident they will be coming home safely. It means making sure they can choose to care for themselves and their loved ones without losing the paycheck they need, and can learn new skills if they want to pursue a new career in a higher paying field. And it absolutely means ensuring we protect workers' rights, especially the right to join or form a union, to collectively bargain for better benefits, better health care, better retirement plans, and higher wages. I'm glad to say this budget makes clear the Biden administration is also committed to these goals, and President Biden understands as well as anyone that working families are the heart of our country and the backbone of our economy. Democrats are focused on the economy, Mr. Secretary. We are focused on tackling inflation, lowering costs, and making sure working people get a fair shake and their fair share. So I look forward to working with you and the President to keep building an economy that puts those working people first. With that, I will turn it over to Senator Blunt for his remarks.